Go ahead.
Thank you, Jen. A couple of days ago, you described javelins and stingers as defensive weapons and MiGs and planes as offensive weapons. So how do we classify the armed drones that we're sending?
I would remind everybody that Russia is invading Ukraine, not the other way around. Ukraine is not invading Russia. They are not going into a foreign country and invading that country. And what we're sending to Ukraine is security assistance, all of it, and weapons that they are effectively using to defend their country against Russian aggression. And that is how all of this material would be categorized.
In that sense, then wouldn't MiGs also be defensive since Ukraine is defending itself from attacks from Russia?
Well, again, this is all assessments made by our Defense Department, but I would tell you that as it relates to the transfer of fighter planes from a U.S. base in Germany into contested Ukrainian airspace, where our military and intelligence community determined the benefits provided to Ukraine's defense are low and the risks of escalation are high, that is how we assess that. But also, those type of planes would be a different category of military assistance.
It seems like we're splitting hairs over semantics in terms of how we're classifying some of these weapon systems. And obviously the president's gotten some criticism from both sides of the aisle for even when he takes action, sometimes doing it after there's been a lot of political pressure, for instance, on imposing the sanctions, on sending the Stingers and the Javelins, on banning Russian oil. So if there's any chance that the U.S. is going to facilitate the transfer of MiGs in some way, why not just do it now?
Well, I think we've outlined pretty clearly why we've made the decision not to do that, including the fact that they have multiple squadrons of planes that they can utilize, and the fact that, most importantly, the types of assistance that we've been providing, anti-armor, anti-tank, anti-missiles, is what is effective in fighting this war on the ground. That is why we've provided that assistance. None of the weapons we've sent to Ukraine could be used to launch an invasion of a country like Russia. That's a fact. That's why we call them defensive weapons. That's why the Defense Department calls them defensive weapons. And I would remind everybody that they are the country that are under attack.